I'm Dr. Bart Rademaker, prescription for your transformation, real people, real conversations, and real success. And the question that I have for you today is, are you going to wait for tragedy to happen before you actually change your life? I mean, the thing is this, it says, how long are you going to wait to become that best version of yourself? And what's relevant for all of us today is that our unconscious brain is really eavesdropping on what we say to ourselves all the time. It's letting us know if we're spot on with who we think we should be or if we're not. And in that space, then comes the thing of, self-esteem. And so if you're not being congruent with who you really are, then that's going to have an effect on your whole experience every single moment of your life. And so the question that you can ask yourself, what's it going to take? How long are you going to wait to really become the best version of yourself? And so I'm really excited on this platform to be talking to all these amazing people from all walks of life that have proven that they can transform their lives and that they can be an amazing example for all of us, regardless of where you come from, regardless what your background is, regardless what your experience is. There is space for all of us at this table of life so that we can enjoy all the fruits that this world gives us. And so today, Gina Ritchie, an amazing coach who's undergone incredible training over time just to get all the pearls from all these other wise people so that she can then share them with you. And I'm excited to get you on our platform today, Gina.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. For
So
grateful to be.
you're very welcome. And so your thing that you talk about, which we just talked a little bit beforehand, is all about inner peace. And my guess is that all of us would really actually enjoy that to a point. If there's too much peace, then nothing really happens. But we're talking about how so many people are struggling. And so I'd like to get your take on, what's that process? What's that journey that people can take to find that inner peace for themselves?
Yes. Well, and it's really when you find that inner peace, then you can start to have that passion for your life and find your purpose and stand in your power, right? So I believe, and I can only I speak from experience of my life, and that's what I share with others. And what the many lessons I had to learn were how to follow the spark within my heart that I knew was calling me to peace, to my passion, and to being able to help others with what my gifts are, and love on others in a very in a full way, and in integrity and honor. And I couldn't do that when I was for many years. So my process was that I really needed to I really needed to find gratitude for everything in my life, the good and the bad. And when I began to focus on that instead of focusing on the pain and the sadness, which was where I was stuck for a long time, right? Many of us are stuck in that victim consciousness. But when you begin to focus on little glimmers of light, little pieces of joy, or things that bring you joy, can be simple as nature, right? When I started to focus on that, it changed everything. I love one of the quotes by Neil Donald Walsh, when the struggle ends when gratitude begins. And it really rang true for me. And I remember, there was a point in my life where I did go through a tragedy, and I said, do I want to wake up and be bitter, or do I want to be better? And every single day I wanted to be better. I felt that. And I had to find little things that helped me build my spiritual muscle, my mental muscle. And in doing that, it meant that it took a long time to get out of my own way, to find the gratitude for things, and see the light in people, because I was really just sad and stuck in my pain. So gratitude was a big step. And with the gratitude, I started to evolve slowly and awaken my soul, that was calling me to that place of peace, so that I remember just thinking, I just want to feel peace, because because I was sad and in pain, and for a couple of things that were going on in my life, as we all have. And I just wanted to feel peace and joy, right? And have fun and passion again in life, that I hadn't had in a long time. So that was really what started it for me, was that awakening to gratitude, and to learning how to not take things personally, how to, create boundaries, and that there were just steps along the way, that life lessons.
Let's talk about the gratitude for a moment, because I think that's a huge one. And we both have a favorite guy in our world. His name is Tony Robbins. You know him, right?
Yes.
And one of his favorite sayings is that he's talked to some of the most successful people on the planet, and many of them will answer the question, what is it that made you so successful? And oftentimes they'll say gratitude. And so I just want to expand on that just a little bit, because what I discovered too is that, in essence, in that space of gratitude, with that mindset of gratitude, you're actually saying yes to the universe. You're letting the universe know that, yeah, this is okay, whatever it is. And what's fascinating, because there's quite a few books out there about gratitude, but one of them talks about be grateful for 10 things every single day. And so I started doing that with my own kids. When we would have dinner, I said, "What are you grateful for? Give me three things." And at first, it was a challenge for them because they were young. But afterwards, they really loved it, and now they miss doing it. But the point that I'm getting at, for you, is, what was that moment that you said, "Look, I'm just going to be grateful." Whatever it is, grateful for the roof over my head, grateful for someone putting these cloths together, and now they got beautiful clothes. Somebody who harvested these fruits, and so now I can enjoy them. So what was it? What was that epiphany that you got to
Mm,
then be grateful?
yeah. Well, yeah, I had been in many years of sadness from losing a child, and my marriage struggled from that. And there was a point where it was just a lot. It was just very toxic, and a lot of hurt and pain and blame going on. And I was I was always looking like the spiritual side, kind of going for energy healings and Reiki and those things to help myself. And one day, within all of that, and some of the books I read, and I think it was The Secret, like it was for a lot of people many, many years ago, and it talked about the gratitude. And I just woke up one day and was like, oh, I, I'm kind of complaining a lot, and I'm, I need to look at things a little bit differently. I need to look in the mirror. I need to look in the mirror at what I can do differently. Because here I am, like, wanting my, now ex-husband to be grateful for this or appreciative of that. And I was looking outside of myself. And when I woke up to that, it slowly started to change everything. And I'm so grateful for that day, because it really made an impact. And I remember that book too. And I remember I was like, okay, everybody in the family, and I was including him, my husband. And at the time we were struggling, but we were trying to make it. Everybody needs, what are three things we're all grateful for tonight? And they got annoyed. It was new for everybody, but it was important to me, because I could feel the difference it was making for
Right.
me, going out and thinking, oh my God, that's the sunset, like just appreciating everything in nature. And I'm learning how to slowly appreciate everything, not just good and beautiful things, but slowly learning how to appreciate the impact of everything, and what it did to help me bring me to where I am now each day, help me move forward on my path and stay in the flow of the light that I was trying to go to. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes perfect sense. I mean, and another way to look at it, in essence, is that what's wrong is always available to you, and so is what's right, and so it's all a choice. And so I like what you said about playing the victim, and that's also a choice, because pain is inevitable. I mean, pain happens. I mean, life happens. Life throws you all sorts of curveballs, and unfortunately, you went to a really dramatic one. But the truth is that it's also our choice to live life on our terms. And so it's the real no, the real victimhood, if you will, and is that, and a term that I like to use, is that we're all victims of our misconceptions of what this world really is all about. And so we're victims only in the sense of, all of our beliefs and values have been learned over years and years and developed, from a very young age. At which time we just didn't have much control or filters or ability to really understand the things that we were learning. And now they're playing, full out in our lives today. And so it's these inner demons that keep us stuck in that place that really does not serve us. And so, fortunately, you were able to get yourself out of that. And now you're in this place to begin to help people. And so you've been coaching for quite some time. Is there a particular area that you really like to focus on so that people can get their transformation?
Yes, in fact, I've actually just recently I've been more of a health and nutrition coach for the past few years, and over many years doing just helping people through coaching, just about life and what we go through and how to help people. But I'm now transitioning really as I am a personal empowerment coach. I want to help empower people to find their peace and their passion and purpose, like I said, and really step into their power, which has taken me many years of learning and growing and evolving and training and retreats and following masters like Tony and many others, and learning from them and embracing that so that I can then help other people shine their own light and help other people step into their power, and stop the self-sabotage and things that I understand and that have been through. That's my goal, is to really help them just follow that light within their soul, that calling that they have to really to align with the greater good too, because once we start to love ourselves enough, that we can and share what we have and share our gifts and share and love on other people, then we create this ripple effect, right, in the world. And then hopefully that person might be touched in some small way to make an impact on someone else. And so if my story and my life lessons can help anyone in a small way, a little bit at a time, then that's, all I can hope for. And then maybe that person will turn around and do something good for something else, or share what they've learned with someone else, and just create that, like Tony and all that he does and all the amazing thought leaders in the world, creating a ripple effect to help us
And
all.
and it's all about that ripple effect, or I think they also call it the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
And it's so important. But what really qualifies you in such a wonderful and fundamental, profound way is the fact that you've gone through that process. You've gone through a very specific journey. In fact, you've gone through that hero's journey. You are the hero. And for most people who are not totally familiar with the real purpose of the hero, the real outcome of a hero's journey is that the hero then overcomes a particular challenge, but then goes out to their community and then shares their learnings. Because otherwise it's just self-serving. I mean, the real hero comes out and does the teachings. And that's exactly what you're doing. Because you can relate to people who are going through this terrible thing, and there's nothing worse than losing a child. I can't even imagine what that's like. But now you've surfaced ahead of it, and I love what you said, that a lot of the work that you're doing is really because of her, because of that connection that you want with her. And so that's what she would want to have for you. And how beautiful that is. And so again, those people out there that may have undergone such an intense loss, maybe that's your niche of people that you can work where that empathy, that heart is fully engaged, because most of us haven't understood many of these kinds of things. And so again, I applaud you for having the strength and the courage to go that. One thing I find is this, and I like to get your thoughts on this one, is that when it comes to that inner peace, and I describe it oftentimes in my talks as divine happiness. We all desire that divine happiness. And because we live in a very complex and complicated world today with so much information and access to all these different resources, it gets a little confusing. And sometimes I think we make it too hard to be happy. And so I learned this from the other day, and this is actually from Eva Pierrakis, and she's doing the path work. And what they state is this, is that, for you to have that divine happiness, all you have to do is resolve whatever makes you unhappy. So maybe with that inner peace, people will tell me, when I have a bad day, or, I'm beating myself up like nobody else does that, right?
No,
Say,
no.
oh, you just got to love yourself. I'm sorry, that's not going to work. That does not work for me. That's just putting a clean diaper on a dirty diaper. That something has to happen. But resolving whatever keeps you away from the inner peace. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, okay. My thoughts on that are just like we were conditioned, we learned certain ways to, to think um, and things that the ways we spoke to ourselves, or we were conditioned in certain ways to just based on our family and our childhood. We can condition ourselves to change and to shift. And my thoughts are that it takes more. It's practice. It's doing it over and over. And I talk about that love yourself, right? And that's I like literally that's a practice for me every day. It's a practice. It's not just like, oh, okay, I love myself. I know I love myself. No, it's a practice. I love myself unconditionally, and I look in the mirror, and I'm like, I got this. You got this, and it's not just there's just tools that I've learned over the years, including it starts with gratitude for me, is waking up in the morning in gratitude, and having a morning like having a ritual that's powerful. And some days it's bigger and longer than others. And some days I don't have as much time. And I say, thank you, God, for my family, for their physical, mental, emotional, and financial well being. Thank you for my children. Thank you for my bed, my pillow, my home, my car, the flowers outside, and walk my dog, and thank God for all the nature outside. And if that's all I have enough time to do,
Right.
it brings the light in. It brings the light in. So I think that it's just, and then I condition myself. I say, mantras. I mean, this is, Tony talks about it, as you well know, and he has a loop that I say a lot in my head, a lot. He has mantras that I say in my head, and I have my own, and those matter. And my rituals matter, and being out there and like smiling. If I don't feel like smiling, I'll smile. Like I will catch, I know how to now catch myself where, I think people, and I know for me, it was this case for me, is I got stuck in that like monkey mind, and that like negative, vicious cycle of, perpetuating the negative, and not being able to say, okay, go change your
Right.
state, put on a really great song and start dancing or singing really loud, whether and don't care what anyone thinks. Like, my son finally got used to it. He finally got used to me singing really loud, and he still tells me to, oh, he rolls his eyes at me, but it matters to me. That I do things that
He's
make
only
me,
15 years old, so
yeah, he's
he has to act really cool.
yes.
But the cool thing that I began to experience a while back, and is specifically, being grateful for things. Oftentimes, just out of the spur, in the spur of the moment, out of the blue, I just get giddy, and because I was excited about what was going to happen next, and I had no clue what was going to happen next. It's just because I layered so many things that I was grateful for, that I knew that the next thing that was going to come up, that I could be grateful for that. And then you would find, you look forward to doing all the things that you're doing. There's no stress with it. It's just a matter of, look, I get to do these things. And what I think was beautiful, what you can do with people then is give them different choices as to what to focus on. So clearly that's what you're doing for yourself, but I call it the psychic data points. I think we're just so uneducated about ourselves, and we just don't know what to think about. And so with all the training that you've gone and I've undergone, you learn all these different things that you can focus on, and that's the beauty of it. Another part that I found critical, and I'd like to hear a little bit more about your take on this, because you did mention it, are rituals. And people will say to you, look, show me your rituals and I'll show you your destiny.
Yeah.
And so the key with that, how ritualistic are we or can we be so that we really can dial in to what's important? And I find for myself, it's the rituals and the consistency with those allows me to be who I really want to be.
Yes. Yes, I agree. And I think you said something important too is that when you're thinking about what's going to come next, it so excites you. So then if you're getting excited about your goals and your dreams, they're likely to come true because that's what you're focusing on. And so I think that that's part of the ritual, and it has become that for me. It wasn't for years. If these tools weren't sort of taught to you in your life, then you don't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. So
That's
you
right.
have to like learn things that are going to help you shift into where you want to be and follow thought leaders that are doing it and what they say. If they're successful and they're telling you this is what they did and this is how you might try this because it's probably gonna help you change your focus. Well, then I'm sure gonna try it if they resonate with me. And I think that's so important. The rituals matter because if we wake up in that fear, I mean, I lived in years and years and years of fear. My gosh. I mean, if we're waking up in fear and anxiety and I'm guilty, uh, that's going to keep me in fear and anxiety majority of my day, unless I can shift it. But I don't want to I choose not to wake up like that anymore, no matter what. If I feel it, and I still have, I still have moments. It's a practice, like I said, all the time. I will shift it into gratitude quickly because I do not want to stay there. And I know, like Tony says, it takes 90 seconds. Just you got to shift it, um, and start to find the gratitude. And that's one important tool. And then I start to visualize and get, like you said, get grateful for all the things that are going to come, and grateful for how far I've come, and all the incredible people in my life, the support system, and I'm just very grateful.
Now, on the other side of disempowerment, of negative thinking, or fear, or anxiety, shame, embarrassment, there's empowerment. So, whatever is on the one side, we can have it on the other side. And I think it's really important for us, again, to choose to engage with that and not so much as fake it till you make it, because that does a short circuit in your brain and I don't think it works. It's really having what you call that hunger for change. And it's
Mm.
acknowledging that, what, I'm not in that place that I want to be right now. So what is it going to take? What is it that I have to do, to make that happen? So I really want to thank you for today. I know that you're going to change so many people's lives, and it's important, for me on this platform is to create this wonderful collective, and as I call it, tapping into the collective wisdom and creating space for generative collaboration from everyone. And so we all can join in, and not just those incredible thought leaders out there that, are blazing the way for us, but we also have a part in that as we can work together. And so this is the reason for this platform, Prescription for Your Transformation. And so I want to thank you for being part of this. Share this with other people. I'm hoping that people will find you as well, because you know you're there to help them transform their lives, and so you can start that ripple effect for others. So, what's the best way that people can actually find you?
And thank you. Thank you so much for what you do. Number one, I just want to really, really acknowledge you for that because it's just a gift in what you do. And we are all partners in this, right? I know like we're partners, right? Tony would say that we're all partners here. So we're here to create that ripple effect. And so I'm very grateful and honored that I'm here with you right now. And people can find me. I do share a lot on Facebook. It's a wonderful platform for giving and sharing, like you said, sharing our stories because that's sharing our hearts helps others. And I think it's important that we can do that. And I'm so glad there's so many people doing that now. So people can find me on, they're welcome to. If they can call me, they can email me, they can reach out to me on Facebook and find me on Instagram, on LinkedIn. And I'm here. I'm excited and ready. I have a book. I'm writing my first book, which I've been thinking
That's right.
about for 20 years. So
you have a
I
book title yet? Or you're not
I'm
allowed
waiting,
to?
not yet. Not well, I do, but I'm it's not settled yet. So we're still in the I'm still in the writing process and editing and
Awesome.
all that. So I'm very, very excited for the what that will bring. And hopefully that'll be out by the end of this, hopefully that'll be out by the end of this year, if that's the plan. And I'm excited. So I also have an online group coaching program called Ultimate Peace, Passion, and Personal Power. Um, Program that's launching on May 15th. And that is going to be a small group online program that will be interacting just, very similar to how you and I are, and coaching and learning what others' needs are, and sharing wisdom and tools to help people move forward, and help them be accountable to themselves, because that's what we have to ultimately be, right? And so I'm excited to be able to help people. And so I'm launching that on May 15th. And really find me on Facebook and LinkedIn, any of the social media platforms. So very grateful to you. Thank you
So,
so much.
last word for you, and talk about accountability.
Hmm. Accountability has been really that has taken a long time for really recognizing what that meant fully, if that makes sense. I, sure, we can all, apologize and that sort of thing. We have to look in the mirror and take accountability for our every single thought, action, our words that come out of our mouths, and forgive others and forgive ourselves. That the like forgiveness is another huge piece for me. And I will thank, Ho'oponopono, if you know what that is, the Hawaiian prayer, has
Right.
helped me a lot with that. And I really believe that's helped me take 100% accountability, and really looking in the mirror and saying, like, my feelings that I have about him or her or that situation, and then how it made me feel, are I'm creating those feelings, so I can shift those feelings and clean that, and and forgive myself for the self-doubt I had, or the low self-esteem, or the, not having faith. Um and that right there for me has been a big thing, a big practice, to be able to take 100% accountability for everything. It has brought so much, that has brought me so much peace, so
And
much peace.
I would have to agree with that. Accountability is where it, begins and ends. You've got that choice. Look at yourself in the mirror. I got a mirror here on my desk that I get to look at myself all the time. That was advice from my coach. So, Gina, thank you so much for today. I'm Dr. Bart Rademaker, Prescription for Your Transformation, Real People, Real Conversations, and Real Success. And I brought in two new hashtags: capable of more and capable of better. And we all can do that. So, Gina, thank you so much for today. And let's change the world, okay?
Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to connecting again.
All right. Thanks,
Let's
Gina.
do it.
Bye.
Take care. Okay.